Morning. Start the day with coffee, spike the insulin and all that sort of jazz. So, end of week 23. Another good week, actually. Everything went to plan for a change. So, Monday, what did we do Monday? So Monday I was the usual time on feet walking on the treadmill. 5k, just a 5k with sort of 15% incline. So I think that's 750 meters of elevation gain, which is pretty productive in my opinion. Any more than 5k on a treadmill, I get bored. An hour is enough on a treadmill in my opinion. It's definitely boring, but it's the only way to get this elevation gain I need at present. So it will be featuring in my future training plans, very much so. Tuesday then, I was back down to the indoor running with Abu Dhabi Sports. A nice interval session there, 7.65k, 5 laps around the facility. Really good. Felt really good actually. The intervals just seemed to click. They were really consistent. I actually really enjoyed it. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday then was the usual, supposed to be strength training, but I've knocked the strength training on the head now. I'm trying to push away from muscle fatigue between now and a week on, or 2 weeks yesterday. I do still have a little bit of muscle fatigue from this week's long run, so I thought, yeah, you know what, we're going to knock and from the previous one, so we're going to knock the weight training on the head until we come back now. So Wednesday I didn't do anything basically. Thursday then, we were back down to running again. It was a nice easy run, 7.65k again, 5 laps, and it was a nice easy run, nice and steady. A little bit faster than I intended, to be honest with you, but there we are. Friday then, usual recovery day, and it was a recovery day. I actually did absolutely jack all day. Saturday then, long run day. I think now we're starting to taper because this only had 18k. So I did 12 laps around Abu Dhabi Sports around Adnec. It felt really nice actually. I think my average pace worked out at about 7:16. It just felt really comfortable pace. All right, that's all on the flat admittedly, and we know that's not going to be the case in a couple of weeks time. But for flat running like that, it was really comfortable. It actually looks really good. It's actually pretty good, to be honest, for when I do another half marathon, because with no elevation gain, most of these half marathons, it's good training for that, I suppose. But I do not like running continuously on the flat. It plays hell with my hips. But anyway, I did about 18.6k there in a couple of hours, which was really nice. And then yesterday I did nothing again. So I've knocked the time on feet walking on a Sunday on the head now. Again, like I said, I'm trying to bring the muscle fatigue down a bit, which I still do have from Saturday at present. So I didn't do anything on there, certainly no elevation gain. So my elevation gain this week has been quite poor. It's only been 750 meters. So the scores on the doors from last week, basically. Walking, I had 5k in. Just over an hour and 4 minutes, and like I said, 750 meters of elevation gain. That was enough for this week. Running, it was just under 34k, just under 4 hours in total, which was pretty good. So the totals from last week were just under 39k and just virtually exactly on 5 hours, all about 2 seconds. So that was good, productive, considering we're sort of pretty much into tapering near enough. So total time on feet then to date, over the last 23 weeks, I've done 1,054.63 kilometers. So it's just under 129 hours and 14,500 meters of elevation gain, which is impressive when I start to look at the figures, I must admit, for me, that's for sure. So, so moving into week 24 now. So this is where the tapering starts. So I've got to not be too tempted to push myself too hard. I've got to really make sure that I'm not getting muscle fatigue is my big thing. I do not want to be going into this race with muscle fatigue, that's for sure. So I was originally going to do some time on feet walking today, but I'm not. I've decided not to bother. So elevation gain this week will be purely once I get to Wales. So there'll be nothing done today. I'm going to treat it as another rest day. Tomorrow it's supposed to be a recovery day. This week's a bit up in the air because I'm traveling. So tomorrow I'm flying home. So that's supposed to be a recovery day. So I'm not quite sure how you work out a recovery day in economy class on an airplane. But anyway, we'll see. To be fair, Etihad aren't too bad when I can book the seats. They're pretty good for that. Wednesday then we'll be in Wales. I've got an 8k tempo run in the plan. I think I will probably go down to the boating lake or the canal for that, so I can keep it on the flat for the tempo part. I think it's like a 2k warm up, 5k tempo and a 1k cool down. So yeah, the canal's probably a good option. I might actually go all the way up to Ponty Moyle and then I can run out towards the Horse and Jockey and back. I've used that section before. It's pretty uninterrupted, which is good. Thursday then, 7k easy run, so I will probably just do that from the front door. I don't mind the elevation gain on that one, so we'll just run across woods, so Hendless T Canal over towards sort of Thornhill area and I'm back. Friday is a recovery day as normal, and then Saturday is the long run day, but it says non-hilly long run day in my plan, and it's only 14k. So I know that I've got two nice loops up above Blaenau, so I will go and park at the Keeper's Pond, and I'll do a loop round Gilwyn Hill and then a loop round the Blorange and back to the car. It's only about 250 metres of elevation gain, so that's not exactly hilly, is it? That's gently undulating, I think. And that's about just on the 14k, just over, I think. So that'll do us for the long run for this week. And then we're back to Sunday's recovery day. I'm not doing time on feet, or at least I'm not logging time on feet. I may go out for a walk, a 5k walk, and then via the pub on the way home, possibly. No, I won't be doing that either. But I might just do some walking from the front door, but I'm going to try and avoid the temptation to go up the mountain. I don't really want to be pushing myself all the way up Hendless Lane, but I'm trying to keep the elevation gain down at present. So, but there we are, that's where we are. So then next week then we're so very, very much into the tapering now. What's that? That's only going to be a total of about 29k, I think. Yeah, about 29k, and any walking that I actually do on top. So, and the elevation is very low. So yeah, we're nearly there. And then obviously the following week is definitely into race week. I don't think there's a great deal in the diary for the following week. A bit of time on feet walking. I need 2 easy runs, and that's it. We're done. So ready for the big day. But there we are. Anyway, right. Next week's video will be in Wales. Catch you later.